How do bonsai judges score bonsai? What's a good score? And how do you win first place? Well, let me explain the judging process by breaking down what the typical scoring system looks like. Now, most bonsai judging is done by individuals who have a deep understanding of bonsai and years of experience. That means that no two judges will score a tree exactly the same, but we can look at the common judging criteria and talk about what is typically expected for a high-scoring tree. In formal judging systems like the American Bonsai Society or the Bay Island Bonsai, trees are often scored across 5 major categories. Now, these categories and their associated point ranges can vary slightly depending on the organization, but they tend to be very similar. So, in this example, we'll use the classic scoring system where each category is scored from 1 to 10, with 10 being the best possible score and 1 being the worst possible score. Here's a quick breakdown of the scoring criteria so you know what we're talking about. The first category is the trunk. This is usually worth the most points out of all the categories, typically ranging anywhere from 7 to 10 points. Judging a trunk can be complex because there's so much to consider. But generally, you want to see nice wood, good taper, interesting bark, and you don't want any flaws such as large branch attachments, scars, or disease. The ideal trunk has a thick base, gradually tapers throughout its length, and finishes with a small top that's strong enough to support the canopy. Also, keep in mind that negative points can be deducted if the trunk has obvious flaws. For instance, if the trunk has diseases, insect damage, large branch attachments, or deep scars, those could result in point deductions. Sometimes trunks are graded into different tiers. For example, some systems may grade trunks from 1 to 3 points, with 3 being the best possible score. And under that system, here's what you might need to achieve to earn the highest score. A Tier 1 trunk is one that has a lot of problems, like large branch attachments, big scars, bad taper, or disease. A Tier 2 trunk has some issues, but it's not terrible. A Tier 3 trunk is one that's clean, has good taper and structure, and fits well with the overall style of the tree. Next up is branches, which is also a pretty important category, typically scoring anywhere from 1 to 5 points. Judging branches can be challenging because we need to evaluate many things simultaneously. It's essential to consider things like branch structure, the strength of the attachments, the angle of the branches, and how well they work together to support the canopy. When looking at branches, judges want to see strong branch attachments, smooth and graceful lines, and branches that spread out in an appealing way. They don't want to see dead or diseased branches, drooping branches, or branches that rub against each other. Ideally, branches should emerge from the trunk at slightly different heights and angles, creating a balanced and attractive canopy when viewed from different perspectives. If a tree has weak branch attachments, excessive crossing, or too many branches, it can lose points. Next up, we have the root system, also known as Nabari. Like the other categories, Nabari are scored from 1 to 5 points. Judging the root system involves checking for healthy roots, a good root spread, and an appropriate root to trunk connection. Judges prefer to see a dense and robust root system that supports the tree and complements its overall appearance. An excellent root system should be well developed, have a good balance between primary and secondary roots, and showcase the tree's age and vigor. On the other hand, a poor root system can result in point deductions due to issues such as circling roots, root rot, or insufficient root development. Trees with unhealthy or poorly developed root systems may struggle to thrive and may not win top honors. Now, the fourth category is the container. It's typically worth 1 to 5 points as well, and it's really important to select a container that complements the tree rather than distracts from it. When judging containers, several factors are considered, including the container's size, shape, color, and material. A well-chosen container enhances the tree's visual appeal and contributes to the overall aesthetic harmony. A poorly chosen container, on the other hand, can detract from the tree's beauty and result in point deductions. Judges typically prefer containers that are in proportion to the tree, have a simple design and color that won't clash with the tree's foliage. And last but not least, we have the fifth category, which is overall aesthetic and harmony. It is often worth 1 to 5 points and takes into account the tree's overall appearance and how well all the elements work together. Judging the overall aesthetic and harmony of a bonsai involves evaluating the tree's balance, silhouette, and how effectively all the elements work together to create a cohesive and visually appealing whole. This category considers the tree's general health, the quality of the foliage, and the effectiveness of the tree's presentation. A tree with a pleasing overall appearance, well-balanced proportions, and a sense of harmony among its various elements is likely to score highly in this category. However, trees that appear unbalanced, disproportionate, or lack visual harmony may receive lower scores. So now you know the 5 main categories that judges typically use when evaluating bonsai. Let's take a moment to go over what a really good score is. Well, that depends on the level of competition. If you're just starting out and showing at local bonsai clubs, then maybe you like to aim for around 35 points out of 50. If you're recompeting at the regional level, maybe you'd like to target around 40 points out of 50. And if you're at the national level or showing internationally, then you're going to need to be close to 45 points out of 50 to even be competitive. To achieve a really high score, your tree must excel in all aspects of bonsai, including the trunk, branches, root system, container, and overall aesthetic. It's not easy to achieve a high score because bonsai is a subjective art form, and judges may have different preferences. Additionally, bonsai is a long-term journey, and it can take years of dedicated care to develop a championship quality tree. To get started improving your own bonsai, I recommend that you check out our website. We have hundreds of articles and step-by-step guides covering just about every aspect of bonsai. If you're new to bonsai, you'll want to check out our beginner section, which has a special series of videos designed for people with little to no experience with bonsai. You can learn about tools, techniques, and even get some tips on styling your own bonsai. So now you know how bonsai are judged and what it takes to win first place. Just remember that bonsai is a subjective art form, and what one person may consider to be a winning tree, another person may not. The most important thing is to enjoy the process of growing and shaping bonsai, and to appreciate the unique beauty that each tree has to offer. All right, everyone, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you did, make sure you hit the like button below and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week, and we'd love to have you along for the ride. We'll see you next time.